Today is April 8th, 2026. I'm Taylor Herfurth.
And I'm Lucas Cortez.
This is the Sheridan Sun. Welcome to the show.
Toronto firefighters are working to extinguish a 2-alarm blaze at a waste removal facility in Etobicoke. The fire broke out at a facility on Shorncliffe Road near North Main Street and Kipling Avenue at around 5 a.m. on Wednesday. No injuries have been reported and the fire has been contained to the facility. Toronto Fire said there were no evacuation orders in place and there is no risk to public safety.
Halton police are investigating a break-in at a U-Haul storage facility in southern Oakville. Several units at the Woody Road location near Spears and Dorval were broken into early Saturday morning. Police say 2 suspects in dark clothing entered through an insecure door and smashed through drywall to reach multiple lockers. Investigators are still determining what was stolen. Anyone with information is asked to contact Halton Police.
A Toronto man has been charged with trafficking a firearm in the latest arrest connected to the police corruption probe known as Project South. Daquan Limonis was arrested by York Police on March 19th. According to court documents, Limonis offered to transfer the prohibited firearm, although it's unclear to who. The arrest was made based on previously obtained information by Project South. Although it's not clear how Limonis fits into this investigation, illegal firearms are an important aspect of the case.
The Toronto District School Board is predicted to cut up to 300 teaching positions across its elementary and secondary schools next year. According to TDSB spokesperson Ryan Bird, the cuts are attributed to declining enrollment. The Elementary Teachers of Ontario responded condemning the cuts and warning that they'll have devastating consequences for students, families, and education workers across the city.
And now over to Phoebe with the weather. It's been a bit cold lately. Is it going to warm up?
Just a little. Taking a look outside our studio, the sky is clear, allowing the sun to come through. The UV index is at 5, which is moderate. Winds are moving eastward at around 20 kilometers per hour this afternoon. Overall, we have a high of +7 degrees. Tonight, a few clouds will appear as the wind continues to travel at 20 kilometers per hour, slowly beginning to head south. We will have a low of +1 degree. Early tomorrow morning is projected to be sunny, however, increasing cloudiness is accompanied by a 60% chance of showers in the afternoon. It will get as warm as +16 degrees. That's a quick look at the weather. I'll see you later in the show for the 5-day forecast. Let's hear more on today's news updates back at the desk.
After being empty for nearly a year, a new store is filling the shoes of Hudson's Bay at the Oakville Place Mall. This fall, Nation's Fresh Foods will open a full-service supermarket on the main floor, with the upper floor being converted to a family entertainment center. The 120,000 square foot space formerly occupied by Hudson's Bay will be evenly divided between the grocery store and entertainment center. Nation's Fresh Foods is known for its large international food section and ready-to-eat options. In news even closer to home, Sheridan students are selling their art right here on Trafalgar campus. Manal Qureshi has the story.
Sheridan students are turning creativity into community here at Design and Things, an art convention run by students for students. From handmade designs to stickers and prints, this event is all about showcasing emerging artists and giving them a platform to share their work.
There's a variety of things like lino work, patches, collages, like stuff like that people are selling, and it shows like the broad spectrum of like what artists can create.
Hosted at the Trafalgar campus, Design and Things brings together students from the Visual Creative Arts program. The event features a variety of original creations, including comics, stickers, pins, and more.
I have this little crochet star that I got because he looked really silly. This really horrible monstrosity that also looked really silly. And I got a zine called Alice Gets High.
For many student artists, events like this offer a chance not only to showcase their work, but also gain real-world experience selling and connecting with an audience.
I make them like at Staples. They're really really good quality. made it myself, I printed myself.
Attendees say the event creates a unique space to support local talent while discovering one-of-a-kind pieces.
I love to see like the art people are making and be able to support the community a bit.
Design Zone is open to Sheridan students, staff, and faculty, encouraging the campus community to support emerging creators once a year. For many artists here, it's more than just a market, it's a stepping stone into the creative industry. I'm Manal Qureshi for the Sheridan Sun.
Ontario is planning to extend workplace safety and insurance coverage to healthcare and support workers in privately run retirement homes and group homes. Labor Minister David Piccini says the new measure will be part of a broader set of changes to labor rules. The government says extending workplace safety and insurance board coverage to those approximately 29,000 workers would ensure they're protected if they get injured or sick on the job. The provincial government is looking to roll back reforms that introduced green standards to buildings on municipal level. The bill would make it so that municipalities can't use the standards to mandate how buildings are designed. These standards ensure buildings are made with sustainability and resilience to climate change in mind. Halton Regional Councillor Jane Fogel called it a, quote, gut punch, and argues that green standards give better products to home buyers and are less costly to operate.
A Windsor police officer has been arrested and charged with breach of trust. Ontario Provincial Police say that Windsor Police Service requested an investigation involving breach of trust allegations involving an officer in August of 2023. OPP then arrested the 45-year-old officer from Essex County. The officer has been removed from active duty as the proceedings to suspend without pay are submitted. Windsor Police Chief Jason Crowley says their top priority is to support the investigation, which is now in the hands of the courts.
A Huron County high school student was admitted to a local hospital after being set on fire on Tuesday. According to Ontario Provincial Police, at around 8 a.m., emergency services were called to Wingham High School after receiving a call reporting that an individual was set on fire. Emergency crews evacuated the school and extinguished the fire. The injured person was then airlifted to a trauma center where they remain in stable but critical condition with life-threatening injuries.
We have more news for you after this short break. Updates on Artemis II, a fifth floor crosser, and a ceasefire in Iran. Stay with us. Welcome back. NASA's Artemis II mission is on its way back to Earth after setting the record for the furthest anyone's gotten from Earth. Sukunigrior has more.
History is heading home as NASA's Artemis II crew prepares for landing after a successful journey around the moon. The spacecraft is now on its way back to Earth with a splashdown expected off the coast of California. And for Canadians, this moment hits especially close to home. Jeremy Hansen, originally from London, Ontario, is one of 4 astronauts returning from the mission, after traveling farther from the Earth than any humans in more than 50 years. Back at Sheridan College, students who followed the mission from the launch are now watching its final chapter unfold.
I'm honestly as excited that a Canadian's up there on the moon, especially the dark side of the moon. So yeah, I'm very happy.
That's radical, man.
I think it's awesome. I love how they have like both of the flags on the spaceship. I think it's really cool. Also, just to see somebody from Canada going there. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
It's pretty exciting, honestly. I know, especially since we mostly see things happen with the American media. Seeing something with Canadian rep is like, it's really encouraging, especially for students.
Because it isn't just about getting to space. It's about coming back with new discoveries, perspectives, and a moment Canadians will remember. As the crew prepares to land, attention is already turning to what comes next, including global recognition and potential meetings with leaders like Mark Carney. So as Artemis II makes its way back to the Earth, it might be the start of something even greater. I'm Sakina Lehua, reporting on the Sheridan Sun.
Conservative MP Mary Gladue has become the 5th MP to cross the floor to the Liberal Party in recent months, bringing the Liberals to 171 total seats. Out of the 3 upcoming by-elections, the Liberals are expected to win at least 2, which would secure them a majority government. Gladue is known for her socially conservative stances, but also has a reputation for working across party lines.
Air Canada has launched an alternative program for resolving compensation claims. The pilot program will test asking claimants to voluntarily refer their claim to an independent arbiter rather than the Canadian Transportation Authority. The CTA is the body responsible for deciding cases, but despite increases in staffing, the wait for decision can still last multiple years. Consumer advocates have raised concerns the program will be biased and add more complexity to an already confusing system.
New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt won't commit to letting the province's public power utility set electrical rates without political interference, a key recommendation from an independent review her government had requested. In an interview on Tuesday, the Liberal Premier pledged to overhaul the debt-saddled utility to ensure it delivers predictable and affordable increases. But she did not answer whether she would rule out setting limits on the New Brunswick power rate applications.
A number of brands of poultry deli meat are being recalled due to foul odors and off taste. Brands in the recall list include Brickman's, Compliments, Lilydale, Royal, Your Fresh Market, Ziggy's, Cisco, and Selection. A variety of oven-roasted and smoked turkey, ham, beef, and chicken across these brands are all on recall. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency has issued this nationwide recall, advising customers to not consume.
The U.S. and Iran have agreed to a 2-week ceasefire, which is already at risk after an Israeli attack on Beirut. This comes after Trump threatened yesterday to, quote, that yesterday, a whole civilization will die tonight. After the agreement was announced, Israel struck the Lebanese capital in their deadliest attack yet. Israel claims Lebanon wasn't included in the ceasefire, contradicting Iran's 10-point plan. Other conditions of the deal include Iran opening the Strait of Hormuz with the ability to toll passing ships, and for Iran to not build nuclear weapons. However, after Israel's attack, Iran has closed the strait again. After the ceasefire, oil prices fell dramatically, but the closure of the strait may reverse that.
Pakistan and Afghanistan have agreed to not escalate their conflict and to explore a comprehensive solution. This according to China, who has been meditating the talks 94,000 people have been displaced and hundreds have died since the current conflict began in February. Terrorism and shelling are key points of contention in the talks.
North Korea has reportedly fired a number of ballistic missiles toward the Eastern Sea. The missiles were launched from North Korea's Wonsan area located on its eastern coast. The launches are speculated by South Korean intelligence to be the latest in a series of tests made in the pursuit of more powerful missiles. The U.S. Indo-Pacific Command emphasized sustained readiness, but noted that the launch poses no immediate threat to the U.S. or its allies.
Hundreds marched in Cuba's capital yesterday, rallying against the oil and gas blockade that has left the country dealing with repeated power outages and gas shortages. Protesters carried Cuban flags and signs reading, "Tear down the blockade." Since January, the Trump administration has cut off oil shipments from Cuba's close regional ally, Venezuela, and threatened tariffs on any country that delivers oil to Cuba. Over the last month, Cuba has suffered at least 2 island-wide blackouts, disrupting both daily life and critical infrastructure, such as hospitals.
Indonesian authorities extradited an alleged Scottish crime boss to Spain after his removal was severely delayed in the ongoing investigation. Stephen Lyons was described as a senior figure in an international crime syndicate. Lyons was flown from Indonesia to Amsterdam earlier this morning. Lyons was then transported to Spain, where he faced charges of drug trafficking and money laundering. Lyons was flagged upon arrival to Indonesia at the request of Spanish authorities. Lyons has been on Spain's most wanted list following a 2024 killing.
The New York Times published an investigation this week linking cryptographer Adam Back to Satoshi Nakamoto, Bitcoin's pseudonymous creator, through analysis of historical records, technical writing, and communications. Back publicly denied the claim shortly after publication, however. If verified, the claim would solve one of technology's greatest mysteries and could reshape Bitcoin's historical narrative, potentially affecting community trust and market sentiment. The dispute between a major newspaper's investigation and Back's denial has sparked intense debate across crypto and mainstream media. This Hollywood actress survived the White Lotus and is onto her biggest role yet, becoming a mother. Stay tuned to find out who. now we go over to Shanice with the entertainment news. What do you have for us in the showbiz world, Shanice?
Exciting news is in today. Parks and Recreation actress Aubrey Plaza is expecting her first child with partner Chris Abbott. The two worked together on an off-Broadway show and did a film called Black Bear in 2020. Her pregnancy announcement comes 1 year after her husband Jeff Baena passed away. Baena was a director and screenwriter and was married to Plaza for 4 years. She is expected to have her baby by this fall. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives star Taylor Frankie Paul filed a protective order against ex-boyfriend Dakota Mortensen. The order comes after a domestic violence case that took place in February, both accusing each other of the offense. Although Paul says Mortensen filed a case to sabotage her career. Back in March, Mortensen was given temporary custody of their 2-year-old boy. But after yesterday's hearing, Taylor Frankie Paul has been granted with temporary supervised visits. Last month, a video resurfaced of Paul being violent against Mortensen back in 2023, which led to the cancellation of her season as the newest Bachelorette. Kanye West has been denied entry to the UK ahead of him being the headliner at the Wireless Festival in July. The Wireless Festival has now been cancelled after major sponsors like Pepsi have pulled out. The British Home Office blocked West's electronic travel authorization application, stating his presence would not be, quote, conducive to the public good. West offered to meet with members of the UK Jewish community to, quote, listen and show change through his actions, referring to his past anti-Semitic statements. Despite the UK ban, he did play a sold-out show last week in Los Angeles. After 4 years of anticipation, Season 3 of Euphoria is finally premiering this Sunday on HBO. The new 8-episode season marks a major shift for the series, featuring a 5-year time jump that moves the narrative out of high school and into the messy adult lives of the characters. Zendaya, who stars as Rue in the series, confirmed that this will in fact be the final season of Euphoria. Reprising their roles is Sydney Sweeney, Jacob Elordi, and Hunter Schafer, but some faces will sadly be absent. Barbie Ferreira and Storm Reed will not be in the newest season. This series will also pay tribute to original cast members lost during the hiatus, like Angus Cloud, who played Fez as he passed away in 2023, and Eric Dane, who plays Cal, who passed away earlier this year. And the wait for the final showdown is over. Amazon Prime has officially released the 2 episodes of the final and 5th season of The Boys. And if you guys, sorry about that, of The Boys is out today. Showrunner Eric Kripke has promised a gory, epic, and emotionally devastating conclusion to the superhero satire, picking up approximately 1 year after the explosive events of Season 4 following Homelander, played by Anthony Starr, as he is now in control of the world and his fought-back regime. For those of you who don't know, The Boys was actually filmed in the GTA for majority of its run, so it is definitely bittersweet. And that's all for entertainment news that I have for today. Back to you, Taylor.
Thanks, Shanice. Now let's take a look at the latest sports news with Maddie. Over to you.
The Toronto Blue Jays conclude their World Series rematch against the Los Angeles Dodgers today at home. The Blue Jays are currently in the midst of a 6-game losing streak after getting swept by the Chicago White Sox on the weekend and are on the verge of the same thing happening against the Dodgers today. Last night, Blue Jays fans were forced to relive their World Series nightmares with Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound as the Dodgers took home the 4-1 victory. They will fight for a much-needed win today with Dylan Cease on the mound, but it won't be easy with Shohei Ohtani going for Los Angeles. We're not done with Blue Jays news, because here's some insight behind the team's current skid. They announced yesterday that outfielder Addison Barger is headed to the 10-day injured list after hurting both his ankles in a game over the weekend. They also announced that catcher Alejandro Kirk, who was injured by a foul ball, underwent thumb surgery and will be out for 6 weeks. Somehow, the injuries don't stop there. The team also revealed that starter Cody Ponce will be out for 6 months as he undergoes surgery for an ACL sprain he suffered in his first appearance of the season. The woes continued when starter Max Scherzer was pulled early from his Monday start due to forearm tendonitis. The only good news is that rookie starting pitcher Trey Savage is currently on rehab assignment, and the team is hoping he'll be able to return soon to a suffering rotation. In other MLB news, things got heated in last night's Atlanta Braves and Los Angeles Angels matchup. Benches cleared in the 5th inning after outfielder Jorge Soler charged the mound and Ronaldo Lopez following an up-and-in pitch that flew to the backstop. This comes after Soler homered in his first at-bat, then was hit by a pitch in his second at-bat. It appeared Soler had enough in the 5th inning when the altercation occurred. Benches cleared as both players attempted to throw punches, Lopez still holding the ball in his hand as he did so. Post-game, Soler told media that Lopez said something to him after the pitch that prompted his reaction. Lopez, however, expressed that he never had any intention to hit Soler. Suspensions are expected following the incident. In the NBA, the Toronto Raptors are coming off a much-needed win versus the Miami Heat last night. Dominant performances from Scottie Barnes and Brandon Ingram led the Raptors to the 121-95 victory. Barnes dropped 25 points with 8 rebounds and 5 assists, while Ingram finished with 23 points and 6 rebounds. The Raptors still hold the 6th seed in the Eastern Conference, but are on the brink of falling into the play-in tournament, holding only a 1-game lead on the Sixers and Magic. They'll look to continue to build momentum tomorrow when they face off against Miami again. On the ice, the Maple Leafs take on the Washington Capitals tonight at home. The Leafs have already been eliminated from playoff contention and have 5 games remaining in what has been an abysmal loss season. Toronto is coming off a 7-6 loss to the Los Angeles Kings, but things haven't been much better for the Capitals, whose playoff hopes are all but gone. Following this matchup, the Leafs will head to New York to take on the Islanders in the second night of a back-to-back. Now, let's send it over to Phoebe with the weather forecast.
In case you missed it, Thursday will be rainy towards the afternoon with a 60% chance of showers. Winds will move southwest ranging from 30 to 50 kilometers per hour. The day's high is plus 16 degrees. Rain will pause later in the evening, though skies remain cloudy. It will be a low of plus 1 degree. Friday is cloudy with a 60% chance of mixed precipitation in the early morning. The downpour is expected until the late afternoon as the day's highest reaches plus 5 degrees. The night will have cloudy periods with a 40% chance of showers. By then, temperatures will drop to plus 1 degree. Now, Saturday gives us a break from the overcast conditions. The day is expected to be sunny throughout with a high of plus 12 degrees. Wind travel should be tamed so you can enjoy the sunshine with no fuss. The sky remains clear into the night, though temperatures will drip down to plus 2 degrees. Waking up on Sunday, you can expect cloudy skies. Despite the lack of sun, temperatures will reach their peak at plus 16 degrees. Scattered showers are expected to begin in the evening, described as a 40% chance of showers. Thankfully, it won't be too cold, the lowest of the day being plus 11 degrees. The rain will continue through the night and into Monday, where there will be a 40% chance of rain. The day's warmest is plus 19 degrees. Periods of rain will likely last for most of the day. The night is no different. Skies are mostly cloudy with light rain occurring throughout. Temperatures will lower to plus 9 degrees by then. Now let's head back to the desk.
Now for one last moment on Artemis II's mission to the moon. On their way home, the crew made time for a call to fellow astronauts aboard the International Space Station.
Integrity, this is the International Space Station. How do you hear?
Hey, International Space Station and Jessica, we have you loud and clear. How about us?
We have you loud and clear as well, and we have DME TV up, so we have a view of you right now, and it is making us so excited. We feel like you're here with us, and this is really just making our entire week right now.
That's all we have time for today. I'm Lucas Cortez.
And I'm Taylor Herforth. Be sure to tune in next week.
Bye.